Yeah, I'm very grateful to be here today and to have this opportunity to carry the message of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'm very grateful to be a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous. And the thing that's amazing about that is that, you know, for a long time I thought that the worst thing that could ever happen to me happened to me, and that was that I would become an alcoholic with alcoholism. And and to me, that was terrifying and depressing and terrible. But over the course of time, because of the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, it's actually turned out to be the best thing that's ever happened to me. Because today I have a sense of peace and ease and comfort that I move through the world with. I can look the world in the eye. I have become the man that I always wanted to be, that I always thought I was inside, but I could never be that man. And the reason I couldn't be that man was because I thought circumstances forced me to lie and to cheat and to steal and to manipulate others. And I thought it was circumstances. And I thought deep down inside that I was this really great guy, but that I had to act badly because I needed drugs and I needed alcohol and I needed everything that I needed when I needed it, and you were keeping me from it, so I had to do whatever I had to do to get it. And I was willing to do whatever I had to do to get whatever I thought I needed. And that is actually true, drunk or sober, without a program of recovery. I'm selfish and self-centered in the extreme. I'm driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion and self-pity and self-seeking. I'm driven by that as an alcoholic with alcoholism. And that's how I got here. I also drank alcohol all the time. I drank it all the time because I was always restless, irritable, and discontent in the life that I was living. There was something wrong with me and I didn't know what it was, but I knew alcohol fixed it. And it also it had a lot of other side benefits. It made me more handsome, more funny, more smart. It made me run faster, think faster, and just an all-around much greater guy. Having alcohol somehow, it was the perfect medicine for what was wrong with me. I still didn't know what was wrong with me, but I knew that no matter what was going on, alcohol would make it better. And it did that for a long time. And anyone who says their worst day sober is better than their best day drinking is a flat out liar. Because I had some amazing times drinking. It was so fun. It worked. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. It did everything I needed to be okay in the day that I was in, until I used it too often as the medicine for my life, and then I became allergic to it. And then it had some very terrible side effects where I broke out in car crashes and job losses and terrible relationships and hating everybody and everything, drunk or sober. And then I was screwed. And then I found myself at that place, at the place where you have to get to, where I can no longer drink alcohol because of what it does to me with the allergy. But I can't not drink alcohol because whatever was wrong with me before is still wrong with me, and I need something to treat that disease. And I say to myself every day, today I'm not going to drink. Today I'm not going to drink. And by lunch, I'm having a beer just to take the edge off. But I'm just going to have a beer. And then that's that. And then anything's possible. Some days I just had a beer, but not very often. Most days I went and drank till I blacked out and had no idea how much fun I was actually having. So what I sort of decided to do, because we get together every week and I'm the same guy every week and I have the same disease every week and I talk about the same thing every week, which was what was necessary for me. I used to go to a meeting where a guy named Bob Anderson led the meeting every Monday, and he would talk about the same thing every Monday, but he would say, you know, it's for now. Now, I need the treatment now. I need to hear this now because it's today and I need to hear it today. And I went there every Monday to hear that guy speak for 22 years. Well, he only lived for about the first 6, but I went to that meeting every Monday with that format. And something, the men that I went to and heard this message from, the Alcoholics Anonymous message, they saved my life. And here's how they saved my life. First of all, I didn't know what alcoholism was. I thought alcoholism was alcohol. And I thought that if I didn't drink, that my alcoholism was treated because I wasn't drinking alcohol. But that's completely backwards. When I don't treat alcohol, my alcoholism is untreated. When I don't drink alcoholism, it's untreated. And if I don't do something different in my life, then I'm just a dry, untreated alcoholic. And trouble is on the way because I live in trouble. I live in pain. I live in restless, irritable, and discontent. And when I get restless, irritable, and discontent enough, then I lash out at everyone around me or whoever happens to be around me. And so my life continues to be a failure, sober, because of the disease if I'm not treating it. And going to meetings doesn't treat the disease of alcoholism. But it does say that if I go to meetings and I rightly relate myself to this higher power in the second step, it says that if I do that, God will restore me to sanity. It says it flat out. That's what it says. And that's my experience in the second step. But in the first step, I come in, and what I found was that when I could finally admit that I couldn't quit drinking, and I could finally admit that I couldn't not quit drinking, that I couldn't drink anymore, and also that I couldn't drink anymore, when I hit that place and I admitted that I was personally powerless to quit or to not quit, I had no more power left as it came to alcohol. That was the day that I quit drinking. All the days that I thought I could quit, I never could quit. The day that I admitted that I can't quit drinking, that I can't stop on my own power, I cannot do it, that was the day that I was able to quit drinking. So Alcoholics Anonymous is backwards to everything. Do you want to quit drinking? Know that you can't quit drinking. And then you have a chance. Because if you think you can quit drinking, you're going to keep trying. And you can't do it. I can't do it. Nobody can do it. Nobody can quit drinking on their own resources. If I could, I wouldn't be in Alcoholics Anonymous, for God's sakes. It says this in the first step. So the first step says that I admit I'm powerless over alcohol. I admit that. I can admit that today. I'm powerless over alcohol. When I drink it, it does whatever it does to me, and it makes me crazy. And if I don't drink it, it does whatever it does to me, and it makes me crazy not having it. So I'm powerless over alcohol, whether I drink it or not. I can never, ever drink alcohol successfully again is really the bottom line of the first half of the first step. There are no more good times left for me drinking. It's over. That part's over. So now what? What am I going to do now? How am I going to treat this disease? And the second half of the first step is the beginning of treating the disease. First, I have to see that I cannot manage my life. My life has become unmanageable. It's not even my life. Life is unmanageable. I can't decide if there's going to be an earthquake in LA or not today. I can make plans to go out to dinner tonight, but if there's a big earthquake, I'm probably not going to make it to dinner. So I can't manage life. I don't manage when the tides come in and the tides go out so I can surf when I want to surf. I can't manage life. I can manage myself to get from place to place. I can manage to go to work. I can manage to put on my clothes. I can manage to figure out what I want for breakfast. But what I can't manage is my internal life, my inner life, my thinking life. I can't manage to be satisfied with what I order for breakfast. I order what I want, and then my wife orders what she wants. And when the food comes, I want what I ordered and what she ordered. So in the first step, I have to admit that my life is unmanageable. And it says it at the end, at the first sentence in 60 to 63, where it says, not the first, it says the first requirement is that I be convinced, not we. We is you guys. We is you. You need to be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success, and then I can enjoy my life. That's what I thought when I read the story in the we. But it says that the first requirement is that I be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. Any life run on self-will, where I am the one in charge of what I'm going to do and what I'm going to think. On that basis, I am almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though my motives are good. Even when my motives are good, I'm still in collision with something or somebody. Isn't that's so deep, that's so heavy. I think I'm being this good guy, but I'm still crashing into people because ultimately I'm selfish and self-centered in the extreme. And all of my troubles are of my own making because of this selfish self-centeredness, which, by the way, I don't think I am. I think I'm a great guy. Somebody said it. I don't know if they said it here, but in one of the meetings recently, somebody said his sponsor never asks him how he's doing. He asks him, how are the people around you doing? And that's a great question, right? For an alcoholic with alcoholism. How's everybody else in your life doing? We don't care about how you're doing. So in step one, there's so much to do and there's so much to talk about, but I get to admit complete defeat, that I'm a complete defeat. On my own power, I cannot manage my inner life and be okay because I have an unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind, right? And it's driven by this infantile ego that's always in a hurry. It's easily frustrated, and it thinks it's the center of the universe and that everybody's here to serve me. Now, that's, you hear that, I hear that, and I think, yeah, whatever. But when I look at my life, I can see it. I expect my clothes to mysteriously, when I drop them on the floor, wherever I drop them, I expect them to show up later that day, or at least by the next day, in my drawer, cleaned and folded and nice. I just expect that. I don't know where I got that, but I expect that. I expect after dinner that the dishes will be cleaned and everything will be cleaned and it'll be nice in my kitchen. I just expect that. So when I start to look at my life, I can really see I really do have this kind of king complex. I really do expect a lot to happen around me that I don't have to do anything. And if I do, then eventually I'm going to have to get rid of you and find someone else that'll do it for me. So then it says, it's truly awful to admit that glass in hand, with this alcohol, I warp my mind. I have a warped mind. Because of alcoholism, my mind is warped. It's like a warped board. It's never getting better. You can't straighten it out. The part of me that's twisted is on the alcoholism side. It's the ego side. It always feels attacked by everybody and everything. It's always finding fault. It's always got an opinion. And it always has to be right. There's another side. There's this higher power side that I can tap into where I could be intuitively guided in the moment I'm in to have the right answer. That's right for everybody, not just me. And where I could start to see that God's doing for me what I cannot do for myself. But that's the other side. That's the recovered side. The alcoholism side is always going to feel attacked and unsatisfied and find fault. So I have to see this. I have to know what's wrong with me. It's not alcohol. Alcohol was what made me right for a long time. Alcohol was the medicine, and I can't take it anymore. And I get to find a new way of life. It says, we know that little good can come to any alcoholic like myself unless I first accept my devastating weakness and all of its consequences. My devastating weakness is my mind. It's not alcohol. It's my mind. I have a warped mind. And all of its consequences is all of the relationships that I've ruined out there. All of the bridges that I've burned. All of the havoc that I've wreaked in my life. And I am still wreaking today when I'm not treating the disease, when I'm not living in the 12 steps. It says, until I so humble myself, until I know what's wrong with me, my sobriety, if any, will be precarious, and of real happiness I will find none at all. I might have some excitement here and there and have that big high of excitement, which I think is happy because I got the check or the girl or the new house or the new car, and I'm all excited. And then the next day, boom, I hit the bottom and I'm all depressed because I picked the wrong girl or the wrong car or the wrong house. And now I have to live with it. And so of real happiness, like happiness, to be okay in this moment, to enjoy this moment like a drowning, like just to be here right now and be okay no matter what's going on in my life. That's real happiness. That I don't get until I know what's wrong with me and I start living this program. Then it says, prove beyond doubt. This is an immense experience. This is an immense experience. This is one of the facts of AA life. So my life's over. I've tried my life. It got me to Alcoholics Anonymous. It made me an addict and an alcoholic. That was my life. Now we're going to try AA life. And it says that in AA life, the principle that I shall find no enduring strength until I first admit complete defeat is the main taproot from which our whole society is flowered and sprung and flowered. So the main taproot, the thing that holds this whole program together, is the idea that of myself, I'm a complete defeat. And this isn't a bad thing. It sounds terrible. It sounds depressing. Oh, I can't do anything. No, I can do everything. I'm incredibly capable. I can do everything. I just can't do it and have any real happiness. I can't do it and be okay on the inside. I can do it all. I can drive my car across town. It's just that I start finding fault with people in every other car. And I start having murderous thoughts about people in cars and people on the side of the road and people that walk in front of my car. And once the disease gets going, it starts finding it with everybody. So that's what's wrong with me. And you know what it says? It says that every natural instinct in me cries out against the idea of personal powerlessness. Everything in me says, no, I'm not personally powerless. Everything in me says, no, I can handle this. No, I'm going to be okay. No, I just need to not drink and I need to learn some stuff. And that exact thing is outlined in the book. It's when you get into the literature and you start reading the books, I mean, I could go crazy. Everything that I'm going to say today, I can find in the book. There's nothing that I made up. There's nothing outside of AA that's necessary for me to have the best life I've ever had. But it says this. First of all, it says, what is my basic trouble? And then it answers the question. Aren't I really a self-seeker even when trying to be kind? There are no people pleasers in AA. I am a self-seeker even when I'm being nice to you. I'm trying to get you to like me. I'm trying to get you to be my friend. Or I have much deeper, darker plans for you. Like I'm trying to get a job from you. Or I'm trying to get you to give me your dog or whatever the heck is going on in my mind. But I'm only nice because I'm a real self-seeker. And this is a line in the book. This is Alcoholics Anonymous. It says, what is my basic trouble? It should say that I drink too much. And when I drink too much, I do stupid things. That's what it should say. But it doesn't say that. It says, and then it says, am I not a victim of the delusion that I can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if I only manage well? If I only manage well, one day I'll get it right. One day I'll read the right self-help book, and then I'll be able to manage my own life. One day I'll go to the right school, and then I'll have the right business, and then I'll be okay. Because if I had the right amount of money, then I'd be okay. Or if I had the right girlfriend, then I'd be okay. I'm going to read the right magazine about how to get girls, and I'm going to get the one that I want, and then I'm going to be okay. But the problem is that even when I get exactly what I want, I'm unsatisfiable, so I don't want what I get, even when I get exactly what I want. I don't want it. I want it for a minute. I got it. I'm happy I got it. But the minute I got it, I don't want that anymore. I want that plus something else. Or I don't even want that anymore. Whatever my mind tells me. So this is kind of the beginning of step one. It's the beginning of step one. There's so much to step one. It says that, in pioneering times, none but the most desperate cases could swallow this unpalatable truth that I have to admit complete defeat, and I'm going to have to do something about my complete defeatedness to be okay. Even these last gaspers often had difficulty in realizing how hopeless they actually were. I'm a last gasper. I didn't come into AA. I drove to AA in my own car. I was engaged to a woman at the time, but I had no job. But I didn't consider myself a last gasper. I didn't consider myself a last gasper till I was like 2.5 years sober, and I was driving home from a great meeting where I heard a great speaker, and I got the car up to 85, 90 miles an hour, and I started looking at telephone poles thinking, man, if I hit that pole, if I hit it hard enough, it will kill me and my mind will shut up. And then I started thinking, wow, maybe I really am a last gasper, because I just been to a great meeting. I heard some great stuff, and I still want to kill myself, sober. And Robin Williams was a last gasper. You're not going to have what Robin Williams had. Everybody in the world loved him. Everybody in the world wanted him to come and be their funny guy. And it wasn't enough for him. Not enough people liked him somehow that he could like himself. And that's the way the disease is. I think if I can get enough people to like me, then I'll like myself. But I can't get enough people to like me, enough for me to like myself, because what's wrong with me isn't you, it's me. So it says, but a few actually did realize how hopeless they were. And when these laid hold of AA's principles with all the fervor with which the drowning sees life preservers, they invariably got well. So I'm going to have to look at AA like a drowning man sees as a life preserver if I'm going to make progress in recovery from the disease. I'm going to have to go for this like my life depends on it, because it does. Because I'm a last gasper. Because if I don't do this, eventually I'm going to get in enough emotional pain where I'm going to drink or I'm going to kill myself. One of those two options. And then it talks about why I got to hit bottom. And I got to hit bottom because if I don't hit bottom, I'm not going to do this stuff. It says, no, the average alcoholic, self-centered in the extreme, doesn't care for this prospect, unless I have to do these things in order to stay alive myself. So until I realize that alcoholism, not alcohol, but alcoholism, drunk or sober, is going to kill me, until I realize that, I do this thing half-assed, which I don't think anybody does it much better than half-assed, but I do it half-assed. And then I wonder why it's not working, why I'm not happy. It says, under the lash of alcoholism, I'm driven to AA, and there I discover the fatal nature of my situation. Fatal. Drunk or sober, this disease will kill me. Then and only then, which is now and only now and only right now, do I become as open-minded to conviction and as willing to listen as the dying can be. Right now. I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession from me. So what's required at the end of step one is that I know who I am, I know what the disease is, I know how it operates in my life, and I am now ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession, which isn't alcohol today. My merciless obsession today is to be self-satisfied, to have the right girl, the right job, the right hair color, to weigh the right weight, to live on the right part of town. I'm mercilessly obsessed with one of those things at all times. And when I stand ready to do anything to have that merciless obsession to be removed, then I'm at the end of step one. And that's how this program starts to work. Step one, there's no real recovery in step one. It's all just seeing who I am and how the disease is killing me sober. So I think that's my time. And thank you for letting me share. You guys are muted. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you.